There are several types of storytelling, according to the brand, its history, its values, its image, the audience's interests, and our objectives. Following the main types of storytelling: fiction, historical, based on the product; consumption situations, based on the brand values; personal. This does not imply that a brand must only use one type of storytelling. On the contrary, creativity has no limits, and we can make combinations and mix them. Let's take a look at some examples of each type of storytelling mentioned above to illustrate and learn from them. We have chosen to share storytelling examples in video format as it is easier to explain. Fiction storytelling. Fiction has been part of human history ever since traditional legends, mythology, films and series like The Lord of the Rings, The House of Dragon, or even non-epical stories that didn't happen. It's a story based on unreal facts, situations, and characters created to transmit a specific message. The Apple advertisement below is one of the best known in the history of publicity. Through a metaphor, they were saying that the launch of the Macintosh would change our lives forever. The Fairmont is the brand's latest film. It also uses metaphor and fictional images to compare the great impact of nature on us with the feelings that the brand transmits and the experience of staying in their hotels. Regarding the Four Seasons commercial, it is an unreal and fun story. The brand aims to transmit their deep knowledge and love for the guests, as well as the level of personalization of their service. Historical storytelling. Historical facts are usually interesting, and if they are shared in an attractive way, even more. We may pick a story that happened, having the freedom to add some creativity and make it more appealing. When we base a story on real-life events, we will be relevant, inspirational, generating emotional feelings and connections with our audience. Usually it applies to brands with decades of history in the market. Storytelling based on consumption situations. This kind of storytelling presents common consumption situations and daily experiences of the product or service and its impact on people's lives. The objective is to engage the audience through a process of self-identification with the story characters in simple and usual situations of daily life. Daily situations that are told in a memorable way are described in the examples below. All three stories are about common daily situations that we all know, told in an emotional way, showing the presence of the brand and products in our lives. The first is a child playing with an iPhone. The second is from IKEA and is about situations that we all have had or will have at some point. And the third is from Nike and depicts a typical story that could be about us or a colleague from our office. Storytelling based on the product or service. This storytelling is focused on the product or service. The product is the protagonist of the whole story, enhancing its benefits, added value, and unique selling points. It presents the product or service in a way that transmits emotions and engages with our audience, which is not easy. It is factual, tangible, and emotional at the same time. Using the examples below, the commercial for the Ford Maverick tells a story, always calling attention to the tangible benefits of their new truck. Four Seasons aim to present their new app, its benefits, and how it makes the lives of their guests easier. Again, this is something very pragmatic and tangible, but they use stories to establish an emotional connection with the audience. Concerning the booking commercial, they enhance the benefits of their service by showing people spending their vacations in a funny way. Brand storytelling. This kind of story aims to transmit the values of the brand more than the product or service itself. The characters embrace and represent the brand values that will allow them to achieve something bigger. The products or services here are presented as tools with the capacity to produce changes in the protagonist, in society, and in the environment according to the brand values. The Gillette advertising talks about the heritage values, the lessons we take from our parents. Now, in this particular case, they tell a story about a father and son starting with the shaving and arriving at something bigger as the greatest learnings of our lives. Marriott presents its brand as a way of connecting people. It is not about their service or rooms. It is about something bigger, as a way to reinforce the emotional relationship we have with our family and friends. Regarding Adidas, they tell an emotional story about the power of the brand to help us regain control of our lives and our happiness. Personal storytelling. As the name says, these are personal stories, meaning daily personal experiences told in a very emotional way. The experience is the center of the story. The daily experiences easily create a sense of self-identification with the audience. And if we transmit them with emotion, we will achieve engagement with our brand. Both examples below are deeply emotional stories of people's daily lives, stories that we know might happen. The story itself is the protagonist, and the brand is presented as part of daily life. On the first one, the brand and the product only appear at the end of the story when we see the father, the son, and their friends in a celebration moment taking the Bell's whiskey. The Starbucks advertising also shows the product only at the end of the story, calling attention to the moment when they ask for our names and personalize our cup.